but it is time for us to get to work because it's 60 days before this election and we've got work to do. So what can you do? Well, one of the things you can do is you can go to wethepeopleconvention.org, wethepeopleconvention.org, the sponsor of this show, and you'll see the listing of the NRA regional directors there with their phone numbers and their emails, and you can call them and you can get set up to make calls from home to voters in Ohio, and you can also go door-to-door knocking on doors for the NRA around Ohio. So go to wethepeopleconvention.org and do that. You can also, they will come and train your group and set up a phone bank. And boy, the Toledo Tea Party, hats off to them. They did another phone bank this week and did 3,500 calls in just a couple of hours. And congratulations to them. The Portage County Tea Party is organizing one of these events of our own, and it's important that you connect with the NRA and start doing those type of things. I also want to congratulate the NRA. They are, for those of you who are in the Akron-Canton area, the home area of this radio show, please note that on Monday, September 12th, the NRA will be opening a headquarters in Canton. They have not done this anywhere in the state that I'm aware of, but the volunteers in Canton has been so active, they're actually opening up a facility that will be there for you to use when you want to go make phone calls. It will be at 1954 Whipple Avenue Northwest in Canton, and you'll be able to go on this Monday, September 12th, from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. to train and learn how to phone bank, and then from 6:30 to 8 p.m. will be the official opening, and they invite you to come by and do that. So, that's something all of you here in Northeast Ohio can go to the new headquarters in North Canton and participate with the NRA there. But there's lots more you can do. I talked last week about doing sine waves and getting organized with letters to the editor and doing postcards. Those of you who want to do that, you should write to me at TomZ@TeaPartyTalkWithTomZ.com before you do, and I'll send you some instruction sheets on how to do sine waves over interstates, which I think are very effective, and how to write letters to the editor and how to do these postcards. So just write to me at TomZ@TeaPartyTalkWithTomZ.com. You should also call your local Republican Party headquarters. Every county has a Republican office, and ask them where the Victory Center is right now. They are opening up all kinds of these victory centers. They haven't announced them all yet because they're just kind of running like crazy, but there are victory centers now in just about every county. So call your county board, Republican Party office, ask them where the victory center is, and you can get materials there. You can get phone lists. They have their own software that you can use, so you can do that if you like. And on the idea of signs, let me tell you that I'm understanding that the signs are on their way. They're imminent. They may even be here, while this show is being broadcast on Thursday or by Friday, but they certainly are coming. 300,000 signs, as I understand it. And once they hit, I will let you know, and we got to get those signs out. So I know that you'll help with that. Another thing, while you're talking to your local Republican Party, I think you ought to go, and this came from a good friend of ours, Nancy Chandler had an idea. It's time for us to ask every Republican elected official in Ohio to go public with their support for Donald Trump. Call everyone up, everyone you've ever voted, a city council member, township trustee, school board members, mayors. I don't care who they are. Your House members, your Ohio Senate members. Where are they? They need to come out and say they're for Trump. And if they won't say that, then you got to tell them that you can't support them when they run for re-election. It's that simple. Okay, are they Republicans or aren't they? It's time for us to hold those people accountable. And I think the other thing that you got to understand is I want to look at the map. I've put up on the screen for those who are watching the video a map of the results from 2012. And what you see in Ohio when you look at this map is that it's pretty much all red except for the major cities. Now, there are some rural counties like Portage and Ashtabula and Trumbull that are on this map that are blue. But generally speaking, the Romney won all of the the rural counties, and President Obama won the big cities. And a lot of people think that you can't, that the rural counties are too small. There's not enough votes. That if they win the cities, Phil Burris talked about this at the We the People convention. Phil Burris from Citizens for Community Values out of Cincinnati, the president of Citizens for Community Values. He talked about the elections in 2000 and 2004. And remember, folks, those are the only elections that the Republicans won for president when Bush was running. And he talked about how they always said you have to win one of the two major cities. You got to either win Cincinnati or Cleveland or Columbus to win. And that year, the Bush lost all 6 major cities. He lost Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, Youngstown, Stark County, Canton, and Dayton. He lost all of them, and they still won. And they won because the rural counties turned out. Okay? And you can do this. And all of you in the rural counties are listening to this show. I've got a graphic up, on the screen right now where it shows that in 2012 even, all right, the vote in the rural counties was actually 2.8 million votes, and in the big urban 8 counties, it was 2.5 million votes. All right, about a 67%, 68% turnout from both the rural counties and the big urban counties. President Obama only won Ohio by 166,000 votes out of 5.2 million. Okay, so if the rural counties can get their voter turnout up by even 7% to get to 75% turnout, that means, folks, that 25% of all the people who are registered to vote in your county don't vote at all. That's 75% vote. That we win this election, even if Hillary Clinton takes all the big cities, and she's not going to take the big cities. It looks like we're going to do very well. I just talked to you about Stark County having a call center for the NRA because they're doing so well. I think we can win Canton. I think we can win Youngstown. Okay? I think we're going to do much better in Cuyahoga County than we've done in the past. All right? And so you guys got to set a goal in the rural counties to get a turnout of 75%. If you do that, we're going to win this election. So don't say, oh, we can't win because of the big cities. That's simply not true. I also have a chart up here on the screen where I look at, and I show this, I've been doing some presentations I've been making around the state, and it shows the presidential turnouts, okay, the voter turnout in Ohio for every election since 1980. And they're all like 70%. They're all in the 70% range. And except for back in 1992, it was 77%. Okay, and in 2004 it was 72%. So that's that 75% thing I'm talking about. But what's really important about this is, like I just said, all these registered voters who do not vote. In 2012, we lost by 166,000 votes, and there were 2.3 million registered voters who didn't vote. We've got to get those people out to vote. And I've had a campaign that I've been putting together that I call it My Push Poll. And basically what I did to the Porch Guy Tea Party is I said to these guys, hey, listen, just stop people. While you're filling up your gas tank and the guy standing next to you or the gal standing next to you, just say, hey, can I ask you a personal question? If the election were tomorrow, who would you vote for president? And just take note of what they say. And say, geez, I really appreciate that. And if they said, I'm going to vote for Trump, reinforce that. Say, great, I am too. You're registered, right? You're going to vote. Shake their hand and say, we got to vote. He can't win if you don't vote. And make them feel good about voting for Trump. If they say they're voting for Clinton, you say, geez, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you a Democrat, or have you voted Democrat before? And if they say, yeah, I'm a Democrat, or I vote Democrat, you say, well, geez, do you know Hillary Clinton calls herself a democratic socialist? And that when Chris Matthews interviewed her on MSNBC and said, what's the difference between a socialist and a Democrat? She couldn't tell you the difference? Go look it up on the internet. Look at the MSNBC interview with Chris Matthews and Hillary Clinton, and asking her what the difference between a socialist and a Democrat is. You're not a socialist, are you? Well, there's no Democrats running, and I hope you'll change your mind. See, that suppresses their vote. That makes them think differently. And then for the people who are going to vote for the Libertarian Party, or they're not going to vote at all, you say, geez, I'm sorry to hear that, because this election is so important, you can't waste your vote. We're not voting for 4 or 8 years for president. This is a 40-year election. This election, because of the Supreme Court, is going to decide the direction of our country for the next 40 years. You got to vote, for Trump, because it's going to help us save our country. And see what they say. Now, when you do this, I just want you to do this informally, okay? And it's a real short exchange. I don't want you to get in a half-an-hour discussion about things. Real simple stuff. Who are you going to vote for? If it's Trump, reinforce him. If it's Clinton, try to say something that makes them question their vote. If it's not Trump or Clinton, you got to say, geez, don't waste your vote. It's a 40-year election. When you do that, I want you to call in on a phone app that I put together with the technicians at our company. It doesn't cost you anything. It's 216-455-0870. 216-455-0870. My push poll. And when you call that in, it'll register you at first, and then it'll let you enter on your phone how many people said they'd vote for Trump, how many said they'd vote for Clinton, how many said they'd vote for somebody else, how many said they wouldn't vote. So we can kind of have our own idea of what's going on around Ohio when you do this. But you know what's really important about this? Because this isn't some consultant giving you a walk list or a call list, when you just randomly talk to somebody at the gas pump or who's working on your neighbor's house or whatever they're doing, these are the people who are registered who haven't voted. These are the people who are registered and haven't voted. And they haven't voted because they didn't like any of the candidates. They think the system is rigged. They think the politicians don't care about them. But I've just done a poll in Portage County to these people who are registered and haven't voted, and I found that a lot of them are going to vote this time because Trump's not a politician, okay, and that they are sick and tired of the direction of our country. We got to reach out to them, and this My Push Poll plan allows you to do that. So call in your results at 216-455-0870, and I'll let you know what your push polls are telling us. So we appreciate you doing all these things. Go to the call banks, start doing the NRA calling, go to the Victory Centers, start working with the Trump campaign, but do something. It's time for us to get to work. We'll be back with more after these commercial messages. You're listening to Tea Party Talk with Tom Z.